get on live. Tell him show where he at. Tell Floyd to get on live.
With all the anticipation surrounding the Jake Paul vs. Mike Tyson fight, boxing legends have now shared their bold predictions, adding even more excitement to this highly anticipated bout. Lennox Lewis recently simulated the Jake Paul vs. Mike Tyson fight, and the result ended in devastating fashion. He wrote on Instagram alongside a gaming simulation of the matchup, "So I hear Mike Tyson will be fighting Jake Paul. Not quite sure how that will go, but it could be something like this." The footage captures the moment Paul and Tyson come face to face inside a virtual UFC simulation, engaging in a fierce battle within the confines of the octagon.
Oh boy, now he done came out and put his young homie in his drawers on his game. Is it to sell pay-per-views and then say it's some sugar in the tank? Or is it really just some salt and his old ass shaker?
Moreover, Paul's former adversary Tyron Woodley agrees with Lewis' simulation, hinting that Tyson will ultimately have the final say. He said, he emphasized Tyson's extraordinary power, suggesting that Tyson could potentially rearrange someone's internal organs with a sufficiently forceful punch. He said, furthermore, Woodley opined that if Jake Paul were to be knocked out by Mike Tyson, regardless of Tyson's age, Paul would simply be joining the vast majority of ordinary people who would suffer the same fate against Tyson. UFC welterweight contender Matt Brown believes that stepping into the ring with Tyson at this stage of his career would be a regressive move, contrary to the trajectory of Paul's career. Brown said,
Bill, if your son is undefeated in the gym, congratulations. Congratulations that you got an undefeated fighter in the gym. I'm not
that's not it.
I'm the
No,
under the
I
light
got a
type
nigga
fighter.
that don't lie. I got a nigga that don't lie 100% of the time.
Let me ask you a question. Bill,
Yeah.
let me ask you a question.
Yes.
What's my record under the lights? What's my record under the lights?
I'm gonna tell you, but listen, what's your record in life?
No.
Yeah.
Down to it.
Yeah, what's my record?
What is
Nigga,
my
what's my
record?
record in life? What's your record under the life?
My record in life is undefeated.
Listen, huh? You said what? You said in life
My
you
record in
undefeated.
life is undefeated.
Come on, man. What are you talking about your record in life? Who you talking to? Who you talking? You trying to tell these people that you don't take no L's? You take L's around this. Fuck, I done took L's. Cause my son took L. We take L's. What the fuck you talking about? You keep running around this fuck acting like that you the only one like
when
your shit
somebody
don't
died,
stick.
when you lose a loved one, of course. Bill, at the end of the day, listen, I called to find out what is your problem with me, because I don't have no problem with you.
I'm for the streets. You do something for the streets, and then I'll be cool. I'm cool. I'll stop saying something, nigga. If it's some hellified street niggas that was up around you that say he got us, then I'll be, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, I talk shit, but I don't mean nothing. I'm just doing some comedy shit, man.
So Bill,
I don't just like you. It's just comedy.
Bill, is me and your ultimate goal is to help our kids go to the next level, or is our ultimate goal is for us to go against each other? You tell me.
I don't know. I mean, are you helping your kids? I don't know. You know what? You can see my work. You can see my work. You see.
According to Brown, Paul faces a dilemma where losing to a 60-year-old man would look bad, but so would winning against one, making the situation unfavorable either way, which Brown personally views as undesirable. Brown further added. Brown elaborated that, in his view, Paul is embracing the role of the antagonist, or heel, in this scenario, aiming to attract viewers who want to see him defeated. Brown added. Furthermore, Brown lamented that this upcoming match with Tyson is seen as lacking legitimacy and depth, essentially dismissing it as unworthy of serious consideration, according to Brown. Meanwhile, Teddy Atlas, the former coach of Mike Tyson, shared his views on the surprising fight involving Jake Paul. Moreover, Atlas confessed to becoming a supporter of Jake, crediting this not to insignificant reasons, but to Paul's clear vision.
Come up in there with that slow drag talking about that 50 under the lights. The fuck the lights, man, that 50 You know that shit don't mean nothing in the street. If you ain't really pushing that line and your kids are right in these streets, you see what I'm saying? If your kids ain't walking around and they mobbing in these streets and they all right, then don't nothing else matter.
Bill, it's not about the streets, Bill.
I said,
Bill, it's not about the streets. That's why you got out the streets, Bill. That's why you got out the streets. I learned from my dad not to even be in the streets. But listen, I ain't coming from no suburb, Bill.
Listen, no, wait a minute, but I'm still in the street. Listen, I'm still in the street, and if I see your kids,
Atlas noted that Paul did lose to Tommy Fury but emphasized that the match was competitive. He expressed his respect for Paul's reverence toward boxing, stating that in his 50 years within the sport, he recognized that Paul had not disrespected it but had instead dedicated himself to training and improvement. We know that Tyson has undergone a remarkable transformation in recent times, reclaiming control over his life and fortunes with impressive results. Talking about it, Matt Brown said, "Mike Tyson is pressing pause on everything else to focus on getting fit for his upcoming boxing bout against Paul scheduled for July." Brown is perplexed, unable to comprehend Tyson's sudden dedication to this endeavor. Brown added, "Brown passionately supports Paul's participation in high-profile fights against non-boxers, reminding fans of his bouts with Nate Diaz and Ben Askren. However, he fails to comprehend the necessity of squaring off against an opponent who is merely years away from being classified as a senior citizen." Brown said, "Should Paul seek out a challenging showdown with a renowned figure outside the boxing realm, Brown has just the right recommendation in store, and it certainly doesn't involve squaring off against Tyson." Brown believes that,
"What you mean? I'm just seeing your kids in the streets and told somebody to back the fuck up, leave your kids alone, because I'm a thoroughbred street nigga, and you know your kids be in the streets.
They can do whatever they want.
Square.
That's
they square. Yeah, you said they do whatever they want to do, you clown. What you mean your kids do whatever, and you got $150 million?
I didn't say that. I said when kids
just said that they can do whatever.
Let me tell you something. When kids get to a certain age, they're gonna do what the fuck they want to do anyway.
You buy them
so what are you talking about?
Everything. You buy them bitches everything. How you can't buy your kids everything the same pocket?
Why are you worried about what I'm doing with my mama? You pocket watching? Bill, now you
I'm a thoroughbred nigga. You already know it.
Now you pocket watching. If he need me, I'm gonna be there for him. If he need me, I'm gonna be there for him.
No, you was just popping slick, and I popped back at you, crazy fool.
Yeah, if he
we don't need you for dog shit. We don't need you for...
And guess what? Anytime I ever talked to Devin, I helped him, Devin, guess what? It was all total love.
Despite his reluctance to witness it unfold, Brown clings to a sliver of optimism that Tyson is approaching this opportunity with complete seriousness, preparing himself for a genuine battle with the intention of knocking Paul's head off. Brown said. Brown continued, expressing a more extreme wish shared by others for Mike Tyson to channel the intense energy and aggression of his youth, even suggesting hypothetically that Tyson might resort to performance enhancers. Brown added, "In a recent episode of his Podcast P with Paul George engaged in a spirited discussion with his fellow hosts before unveiling his prediction for the upcoming bout. The boxing community finds itself sharply divided over this forecast. While numerous fans favor the youthful 27-year-old Paul to emerge victorious, citing his age advantage despite his limited experience, there remains a steadfast contingent unwilling to bet against Mike Tyson. There is a striking age gap between the two fighters, yet Paul George remains convinced that age should not play a decisive role. In a notable incident from 2022, Tyson didn't hold back while criticizing Jake Paul's fighting style, hinting that he would step into the ring himself if he were still in peak condition. Tyson said. Meanwhile, in an interesting turn of events, Mike Tyson's brief observation of Jake Paul's sparring session lasted only around 30 seconds before he abruptly walked away. According to trainer Freddie Roach, Tyson didn't hesitate to leave the ring just moments after the session began in 2022. Roach said. He further commented on Paul, describing him as an average club-level fighter. He added, "Meanwhile, Paul had plenty to say about those claims and suggested that Tyson had never actually seen him in action in the first place." Speaking to TalkSport, he said. Additionally, Paul asserted that Mike Tyson had never watched him spar and had never even been in the gym at the same time as him. He said. Despite his initial reservations about Jake Paul's skills, Tyson appears to have shifted his perspective following the announcement of their upcoming bout this summer. The seasoned fighter expressed genuine anticipation.